Welcome all of you, Alankrita, Nitya, Reema, Zoya and Neeraj. In the universe of Made in Heaven, this is the most beautiful casting of directors.
Thank you.
Nothing can be better than this. Each one of you has a different story. You come from a different background. And I'm so delighted to see you, Mr. Neeraj Ghaywan. Your voice is so important in a universe like this. Why would you be so different in 2019 when the series had come in? Why would you be so different from what average people were doing in terms of filmmaking?
We're not typical of anything that you're talking about.
Yeah.
We are typical, and there are a lot of people like us. It's not like we are some great special. There are a lot of, and we are making stories for them. You're talking about something that like five of us don't completely fit into.
Right.
But what I'm trying to say is that there are a lot of people like us that need stories told for them and about them. And that's what we do.
Okay, our craft is about telling stories, about characters. So फर्क नहीं पड़ता कि भाई आप कहाँ से आए, किस तबके से आए हैं. अगर जोया गली बॉय बनाती है, तो मैं भी मेड इन हेवन में बना रहा हूँ ना. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम लोग उसके पार्ट से नहीं है तो हम लोग नहीं बना सकते. हम लोग अपना रिसर्च करते हैं, हम लोग उसके बारे में पढ़ाई करते हैं. We try to get as close to these characters as much as we can because we are fundamentally storytellers. Our job is to tell a story.
We are interested in the human experience.
I don't think your start mark ever is, let me try and be different.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think that that's where any of us
Anything that
operate
excites
on
us.
in any way.
Okay.
So,
tell me, when a bunch of actors is directed by different directors, is it different for them? What is the feedback that they would have given to you?
You know, when you're doing episodic content, when you're doing a long format stuff, and a show like Made in Heaven needs more than one director because every episode has new locations, every episode has new families coming in, new casting, new look, everything. So it's too much for one person to do, and it's not feasible. It's not economically feasible. But the actors come in. When they come in, you do a read together. They're formed. Their characters are formed in season one. You know, so they know what they're doing, and they go through the beats, but their characters are decided by everybody in that room. And then you play with it, and they, by season two, they knew who they were. We didn't even need to, it's just a matter of tuning the frequency. Okay. You know, they know who they are.
and it's interesting because there'll be certain days where all 4 directors will be shooting. So if you're in the Made in Heaven office, you have all 4 directors coming in. But the actors have, you know, they know their graph because you could be doing episode 7 first, or you could be, and you know, then coming into 1.
Exactly.
But for them, I think they just, you have to look at it as a whole.
Yeah.
You know, it's not as segregated, and I think once they've got hold of their sur, they just run with it, and so they make our lives
I think
quite
as a
easy.
new person, I'll say that what I found it very, very interesting was that we were like a family, and we knew every track, the whole of it. It's not like I've done 2 episodes, I'll know only know that track, but I'll know all of what is happening through their journey.
Yeah.
So that, you know, those repercussions will show up in my episode. So I think that camaraderie, I think, what made a difference, I guess.
Yeah, and one interesting point, Nitya, you would be right to answer this. You've been associated with many international projects with a different kind of aesthetics. And while Amazon is a platform that reaches out to more than 150 countries and has to be global in the truest sense, but obviously we also have to cater to the Hindi heartland, or probably when this is primarily Indian original content. What is the fine line of being classy yet massy and massy yet classy?
Made in Heaven. That is the, that's the one.
Okay.
I think just generally, I feel like I mean, look at it. Look what Monsoon Wedding did. I feel like, you know, also in Made in Heaven, I feel like, you know, in India especially, weddings, babies, I think that just cuts through, it just cuts through any kind of classy, massy thing. It's true to everybody. And I think there are so many themes between season 1 and season 2 that we're dealing with that I think that you can find yourself, as an audience member, you can find yourself in definitely one of those stories.
Of course.
So there's a lot of relatability. And I think even actually if you just look at Tara's graph or Karan's, I mean, you just look at your main 8.
Yeah.
You'll find yourself in there.
Yeah, yeah. And very important point to be discussed. Alankrita, would you like to answer that? We first watched Made in Heaven in 2019. This is 2023. Even the medium has had its own journey in terms of investment, return on investment, aesthetics, just how how evolved people have become. This has to be a new project because the universe has changed. Did you as directors come and talk about it कि ये 5 साल बीत गया है?
The audience has grown a lot, particularly during the pandemic. I think they watched a lot of stuff and opened their hearts more to, I think, all kinds of stories. So I think in that sense, it's a great time. There's more soul, even while I think there's more opulence and there's more, you know, there's more like visually and music-wise, there's so much to sort of feast on.
बहुत साल पहले, Zoya, I was in conversation with Javed Saab in a live audience that was primarily for literature lovers. It went hugely viral because of the things that we discussed. I asked him कि film दीवार में, which was written by him, अमिताभ बच्चन का किरदार अपनी माँ से बहुत प्यार करता है. उसकी अपनी माँ से मिलने के लिए वो मौत के मुंह में चला गया. That's how much he had loved his mother. लेकिन the woman that he was with, played by Parveen Babi, वो कौन थी? किसकी बेटी थी? किसकी बहन थी? कहाँ से आई थी? उसकी क्या स्टोरी थी? हमें आज तक कुछ नहीं पता. I'm sure, like me, as a woman, you were also a woman growing up in that time, and you would have seen these blatant disparities and discrimination. Would it be right to say that your content is a response to all of that?
No, I've never actually, what you're saying is very interesting because I've never actually looked at Parveen Babi's character like that at all. It was the 70s. I was very, very young, so I didn't see it when it came out. I saw it in the 80s. I was, I mean, I was 8 in 1980, so I saw it much later. But having said that, I mean, she was so radical. She was a prostitute, and she had a very deep connection with the character, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter. What mattered was them, their connection, and the validation of her personhood, as opposed to him treating her in any particular way that was disrespectful and taken for granted. So I think what came out to me when I see that film that Salim uncle and my dad had written is, firstly, they never wrote women that didn't have careers, whatever the careers were. They never wrote women that didn't have agency. They never wrote women that didn't have an opinion. So it didn't really matter what her father was called to me, personally. The fact that there was mutual respect there was
enough for you
importance,
as a woman. But still the question remains, and anybody who would be watching this conversation would like to know that what do you think as a woman, as a director, as a person who makes content right now? Is it in any way response to what you grew up watching?
No, what I keep watching. My response is yes to what I see on screen. My response is to what I see around me. My response is to what I read on the news. My response is to my friends. My response is to life. So it's not one thing that has spurred me. My response is to my own agency. I mean, I am a woman and I have a point of view. And I don't know that point of view separate from anything else because it's my consciousness. So it's my own honesty that comes out. So it's a response to many things. It's not one. I mean, I can't blame my father for my work. Let's just put it that way.